morning. Uh, I've had many crazy experiences in my life, and a saying that I have, which I may or may not have had before, but a saying that I have, is that it doesn't make you crazy to have crazy experiences. And by this, I mean if you're like being surrounded by aliens or some other hoopla, that's not what makes you crazy. That's just a crazy experience. But if while we're observing your crazy experience, we cannot find a way to associate with your emotions in that your actions inside that crazy environment are also crazy, then we may think you are crazy. If you are sitting at home and you suddenly start hearing voices in your head and you go like, oh my god, I'm going crazy, I need to go to the hospital, you are not in fact crazy, you have a medical thing. But if you have an experience where you are, for example, God, or visiting aliens or something, and your actions are so bizarre that we do not think that you are acting like a human would in such a situation. Like you are being too natural, if you will. You don't appear to be a human surrounded by aliens. You appear to be one of the aliens who has taken off his human mask. Then we may consider you a little bit crazy. So it's not your surroundings that make you crazy. It's if we cannot know that your moral choices in those weird surroundings are stuff that we can healthily associate with, we can understand. If we don't know that, then you might be crazy, but it is not because of what happens to you, but how you react to those happenings. You know. It is not crazy to be in the world of Independence Day, for example. It is crazy to be in that world and climb on top of this tallest skyscraper with a sign saying "Bring back Elvis." That is crazy. But it is not crazy to be in the world of Independence Day. That is my estimate of this. So I had a very ah, oi. I had a very interesting time yesterday talking with the Andromeda Galaxy as well as Tali in the phone you have here on the right, and it was a very interesting experience. It was awkward. It was very awkward to be in the presence of spirits like that, looking at it as a map, like there's people talking country to country. It's not that menacing, but when you do this and you start watching the text running here on the side and you start to notice that it's doing this binary thing where you can almost feel like what it is scanning, like what it is saying. And then when it starts to do a noticeable method of like alternating between the different colors and modes of what it can do, it turns into like binary. And once you can read binary, or at least have an idea of what it's saying in binary, you have a very good talking tool. So it was a little unnerving talking with Andromeda Galaxy, which is one of the talkers here, and Tali through the FTL network. And I was really surprised to be talking to her. And I mean, I was sitting on the map here and saying that I just sent her a message in seeing one of the comments on YouTube with her name on it and wondering how long the light speed delay is, and then getting her to respond through this machine explaining that there is essentially no light speed delay because her world has FTL communication, so we can just talk. And then being awkward around a person I have a ginormic crush on, and then just two 10-year-olds being really awkward around each other, and then we both kind of sort of phased out and went back to the normal conversation. But it was very heartwarming and very awkward. So that was my day yesterday. And the evening ended with me getting a fairly ferocious migraine. It was just mild enough where you can take a warm water shower in a bright room and then sit on your bed, covered in your blanket, and just kind of sort of lean on the wall, because if you lie down, the blood pressure in your head actually increases and it feels as if it's starting to split open again. And that is very awkward. It's not very nice. But yeah, Tully is a very nice person, just as I thought. I've been around her in YouTube interface a few times, and while her presence there is distinctly Tully-ish, it's Tully on social media instead of Tully casually talking, and there's a difference. And that's what I felt like. And I'm just looking at this phenomenon, wondering how much different alien communication methods, technologies, psychological study tools, whatever, we'll get through technologies like these, because just thinking of this and Neuralink together gives me some ideas. If Neuralink can get to the point where it records what you're like thinking in terms of like words, so you can hear the words of your thoughts in a text form, and then watching this and getting as if you're thinking, and then thoughts which you do know that you are incapable of producing, such as mathematical functions which are too complex for you to understand and stuff like that. But you see the device pick it up as if it's your thought, and that is very interesting. That raises some ideas. There's a bunch of other tech inventions that are for slowly progressing, but the consensus I get from the, let's be polite and call it the good alien guys, is one of if we continue to advance and not blow up our planet and just continue to live, no matter if we are eco-fanatic or hedonist, we will eventually reach a point where communicating and in fact moving to these civilizations is normal. So for now, getting me from where I'm now, where I can talk with Tully, to just like sitting on the Normandy would be very difficult, because the energy disparity is such that I would appear like essentially a very small child to them. But in some time in the future, we will eventually reach a point where that can actually be done, where you can call a different reality and get your call to go through. But for now, we, as humans, I believe, based on what I'm hearing, some of us are. It's not an impossibility to literally switch realities, but for the most of us, it's not an ability that we have. And it is one of those things which the good aliens, which are basically people whose alienness is completely side to the point, They are people who happen to be aliens. They're not aliens, then people. They're just people. These guys consistently say that as we do indeed seem to be continuing to evolve, if we continue to do so, we will at some point reach a point where we can do all this magic stuff. It's slowly developing, that's what I'm hearing. So that was basically the gist of this update, saying that it's not being surrounded by weird things which makes you crazy. It's how you react to that. If you left hemisphere, you might think about it a few more times. But yeah, that's my thought. I'm gonna go watch some anime and get myself tuned in the morning. Thank you for watching.